Hey everybody, it's Thunder. I want to ask a question today, and I think that the answer to that question is very, very relevant. It's very relevant. It's groundbreaking, whatever the answer will be. And I might provide the answer through facts. The question is the USA, is the USA backing a Nazi regime? Is the USA backing a Nazi regime? Now, if we would have thought about this back during, pre-46, when we were in the war, the Second World War, there was no doubt, supposedly, that, the United States was with Russia and we were out to defeat the Nazis, okay? And Hitler and the SS and the whole ball of wax that goes with it. Extermination of an ethnic minority was being committed. The USA was an ally with Russia, okay, against the Nazis, but Russia really beat the pants off the Nazis, if you really want to know the truth of the matter. And millions of them died defending Stalingrad, and they still kicked the Nazis' ass. You have to ask yourself, what do you think of Nazis? What do you think of that? What would your answer be to that? Oh, it would probably be, I'm disgusted with anything of that nature. And if it is, well, then the answer to this question that I just asked has got to be very relevant. Okay? Pay attention here. Does the USA back a Nazi regime? That's pretty heavy. And the answer is yes. By their own actions, by their own admission, in a sense, they're sending arms, and they're giving them money, and they're providing Humvees and Bradley tanks and all kinds of good stuff, okay? And advisors, okay, special ops advisors, CIA advisors, in collusion with the government of Kiev, okay, or Western Ukraine, which is run by Yatsenuk and Poroshenko. And Yatsenuk is the thumbnail I got there with the little funny, not so funny statement. Did a little artwork there. Yatsenyuk. Got to say this right. He's going around saying things like, Russia is the threat to the earth, and it's going to attack all the European countries, and they're out for blood, and this guy's a stone Nazi. I mean, look at him. He looks like Joseph Goebbels, or whatever his name was, Gerbils. It's insane, people. See that guy sitting there? He's in with the nationalists, or is a nationalist Nazi. Okay. Over in Ukraine right now, a group of people that got involved and grew, that the United States actually ushered in, okay, if you can believe that. This isn't just about do we back, it's do we install puppet governments? Okay, here's a deeper question. Do we install puppet governments with a nationalistic Nazi fervor and a genocidal mindset? That's what we got to ask the question. And We do. Because, I mean, if you watch Congress, they just, they're doing all kinds of things, sending all kinds of weapons to Kiev. That's spelled Kiev for those of you who don't know or that are not up on this, which this is the center of Western Ukraine. And the center of monstrous people that want to commit genocide in the southeast of Ukraine. And most of the people that are there are Russian speaking. Okay. You get the picture here? You get why the USA is demonizing Russia and making them look bad and trying to blame this whole thing on them, and it was all about Crimea and the annexing of Crimea. I'm not going to go into that. The whole thing was a farce, okay, as far as the accusations go. Crimea voted to go with Russia, period, end of story. Free and democratic elections. Now, I think we've, if you look at some news articles and you look around and you read different things and you hear, you see tapes and you understand, and even by their own admission, they support a Nazi regime, okay, and by words of omission, they have done this, because when the Russians presented the Russians wanted to flesh out what America's all about, so they presented a petition at the UN, and it said, we have a petition here that we want to introduce that is a statement against any kind of Nazism or Nazi fervor or Nazi nationalistic fervor. We don't think it's a good thing, and so we're going to put it for a vote before the UN, and the UN voted on it, and all the member nations, or whatever they're called, voted, yeah, this is a good thing. We should have a mindset against Nazis. But two of the member nations of the UN didn't vote against it, but they declined to vote on it. Okay, they abstained. And that was the USA, and it was, I believe it was the UK, could be mistaken, it might have been Canada, might have been all three, but we know it was the USA for sure. And why would the USA abstain from a petition that is against Nazism? Got to ask yourself all these questions here, people. You got to ask yourself all these questions. Would America back a Nazi regime? Yes. Does America itself act as if it's becoming a more fascistic order or state, with the bulking up of the police forces, making them all military looking and supplying them with military grade weapons? And doing operations like Jade Helm and all these different policing operations. And they're doing it, people. They're already doing it. And they're gearing up. And there's nothing more, not frightening, but there's nothing that will throw cold water on your face more, okay, than when you look out your window and you see like 3 or 4 Blackhawks or Hueys, or I don't know if they have Hueys anymore, but Blackhawks and Apaches cruising across the sky in like, the high speed mode, buzzing in like a bunch of mosquitoes. I digressed for a minute because I think that's important too. It's not really a digression, it's just pointing out to you that we no longer live in what people used to call America, and, you know, Betsy Ross and the flag and all that good shit. God, mother, country, apple pie. That was all an illusion too, but that illusion's gone. That illusion's gone. It's out the door. It's out the window. It went bye-bye. And so if you don't realize all this stuff that I'm talking about here, you do now, because Thunder's telling you. I'm a baby boomer, and I remember all kinds of stories and meeting all kinds of World War II vets, and just remembering that whole thing that went down. And those vets actually believed, and I believe that they were, in a sense, you know, all wars are unjust, but we're fighting for some kind of ideal with the country. The patriotic, what I would call a true patriotic ideal, not a nationalistic fervor and jingoism. Look up the word jingoism. It's waving like some kind of happy shit out there. God, my country, right or wrong. One of those kind of people, okay? My country, right or wrong. What? Right or wrong? So that's where everything is right now. That's where we are, people. It's sobering. It's sobering, and I hope that if you like this message, hand it off to somebody or tell somebody. That's all the question that you need answered is, are we back in a Nazi regime right now? And the answer is yes. That's all you need. You don't even all this other stuff that I added about, yes, well, if you got to be blind if you can't see the police state around us and the cameras and everything and face recognition and shit. Think of if Hitler would have had that instead of just the SS. But we have our own SS, the Homeland Security. Kind of like fatherland, homeland. When I first heard that, I went, oh, no, not again. I mean, really. It's here again. I knew it way back then when it first appeared. DHS, what? Department of Homeland Security? That sounds like, the SS and the fatherland. Where'd they come up with that one? Interesting times, people, and so I guess I'll leave it there today. I think I've given you enough food for thought. Yeah, Thunder shaved off his beard. I might grow it back. I don't know. It was too much of a strain eating my soup through the mustache. I don't know. I do things on the spur of the moment. Anyway, I want to leave you with this video, and I want you to think about it seriously. Answer that question. Then if you know anything about history, you know anything about World War II, if you're too young to know about World War II, and I guess there are a lot of people that are, research it. Look at the horrific atrocities and the fear that was instilled in the people of Germany so that they would comply with the agenda. And look at what it ended up being, just a bombed out, burned out hulk of a city. The fire bombing of Dresden and Berlin and by the USA. That's how much they supposedly hated Nazism, and now we are supporting them. I guess we should have got a clue from Operation Paperclip when they imported all the Nazis over here, all the rocket scientists. Werner von Braun and all those guys, imported them in here and made them a part of the good old boy club, and gave them as much money and funding and whatever they wanted, and they didn't have to answer for any war crimes. So let's start there. Okay, I'm out of here. Peace be unto you, brothers and sisters. Open up your eyes and ears.